swine flu a big orchestrated financial maneuver from the Mexican government with the aid of the U.S.?
Yeah. Bestimmt, as they say in German, for sure. Mm-hmm. Or if you come from the area of Stuttgart, they say bestimmt. But anyway, yes, it's all orchestrated. I covered it somewhat earlier on in the program. It's another scam. That's exactly what it is. And, in Mexico, they shut down all of the places where people go, like restaurants and schools. This is in what they call DF, which is the Mexico City area that we call. And Mexicans call it Mexico, period. And that means Mexican City, Mexico City, or Mexico Ciudad, or they could say DF, make it short. You know how people are; they only want to shorten things. And so they have all the kids out of school, I think, until May 6th, and they stopped all sports activities for children. Professional games will be played, but without crowds. No one will be allowed to attend. The country in the region of Mexico City has come to a halt, more or less, and the outlying major cities in Oaxaca, Aguascalientes, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and on and on, they also have shut down the schools, activities for children. Matches can be played, but no people can attend. Most of the cities have kept their restaurants open that are outside Mexico City. But the point is this. It's crowd control. It's a trial balloon to see how much the Mexican government can get away with suppressing the people. That's what it's about. And they're going to do the same thing in the United States. And that's the main exercise. The Mexican peso has been weak as of late. I think it's selling around $13.60 or $13.80 to the dollar. It was as low as $18.25 or $30 here a couple of months ago. It traded for a long time, between 10.5 and 11, maybe 5 years, just to give you a feel for it. And they're being affected in Mexico by the world economic turmoil. A lot of Mexicans who are in the United States illegally have gone home, millions of them actually, not only to Mexico but throughout the world. And that exodus now on. I just saw a piece come over from Massachusetts, said that between 2 and 3 million people, and they would refine these figures, have left the state and gone back to where they came from because there's no work. And so, you're having all these kinds of things go on. And but it's to keep people's minds off of what's going on economically and financially, and to deter thinking regarding Iraq and the extended occupation in Afghanistan, which is a hot war which is going to go into Pakistan. And that will be followed by Iran. And then we'll have ourselves a third world war. So that's the plan. And it's pretty simple. And if you look at history, it's all there. We've called 9/11 within 33 days. Didn't know the event, but we knew something was going to get pulled. False flag event. And we knew that the war was going to start in Iraq, and we predicted that. And you don't have to be a clairvoyant or anything. All you have to do is read history. And, the motto for the Illuminati might have been picked up from Julius Caesar, and that is Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, and I conquered. 4 years of Latin, that's all I remember. No, I remember a lot more than that. But anyway, it was great training. And I can go to Rome and read all the inscriptions, so there you go. Anyway,
Bob, you mentioned earlier about Texas doing a state of emergency. I believe California did also yesterday.
Idiotic.
It is.
California has, along with Arizona and Nevada, more than 20% unemployment on a U6 basis. And it's going to get a lot worse.
What are your comments about Arlen Specter today going over to the Democrats?
Means absolutely nothing. In fact, if he tripped and fell down and hit his head and had a heart attack, it would have the same effect.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all bad except a handful. They are all bought off. They are all political whores. It's as simple as that. And history is replete with it. Cicero might have been the greatest orator of all time, but he got in the wrong side of a political battle, and they visited him one day and sunk a sword in his neck. So you better be heavily armed if you're going to go shoot your mouth off.
Well, what about that guy? If they get that one more Democrat, I mean, no one can stop the Democrats. But of course, no, they're both.
Well, of course they can. Of course they can, and it will happen.
Well.
And what will happen is people will lose their homes, their cars, their jobs, and be living under a bridge and say, I'm not going to take it anymore, and they will march on Washington. There'll be so many of them that they will overwhelm the defensive forces of Washington, and they will march in, just like they did in the French Revolution, and hang them all. And that's what's going to happen. You don't have any recourse. Congress doesn't listen to its constituents. The courts are all bought off. We have two-tier justice. And all those people on Wall Street in banking, they're a bunch of criminals. The state of America today. It is what. This is not fear. This is telling you exactly where this is going to go. And if anybody has a synopsis out there which is different or an antithesis, I want to hear about it. I want to consider all angles. I balance things. If I think something's wrong or right, I'm going to tell you. I may be wrong, but you're going to get the balanced opinion. And, of course, that's what Libras are all about.
Is this a CIA Mossad test of virus going wrong?
No, it's going right. It's a planned event. This was a question that was from Monday, but it was at the very end of the program. Most analysts are speculating of coming market correction. Which of the three options do you think is most probable? Do you think that there will be a downside to the market in May? Do you think there will be a downside in May and June, and that will be it? Do you think the market will just move sideways from now until the fall? The first one.
Downside to the market in May? Will there be a summer?
It's got to test 6,600. No matter which way you cut it, it's got to test it. It went down, turned around, and ran right back up again. And I don't know when it's going to test it. Could be in May or June. Could be in October, September, October. I don't know, but it is going to.
Is there going to be a summer rally?
And all the King's men ain't going to be able to put this thing back together again.
Is there a summer rally?
You've already seen it.
Next question. According to the Tampa Tribune, Florida is preparing for one of the largest National Guard mobilization in history. More than 4,000 soldiers will be mobilized in the next few months for deployment to be deployed in Iraq, Afghanistan, domestic security missions. Is this the beginning of communist martial law and dictatorship?
Could be. It's hard to make every call, but, if they're not there, then who knows what government's going to do. They do anything they want. You just have to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best.
China's commerce minister was on CNBC today with Aaron Burnett, and he sounded like he was reading off the tick sheet of the Federal Reserve's demands that China open its markets and foster domestic consumption. Terry considers the temporary swine flu epidemic and the photo shoot in New York killing two birds with one stone.